I thought you were going to buy something. Your mom.
But all those who have sacrificed for our country. The past, those called to service in our nation's darkest hours in the face of global tyranny and against the threat of worldwide oppression. The present, the brave men and women currently in harm's way who neglect their own freedoms and happiness that others might continue to enjoy the liberties this country affords. And the future, when you see laying this wreath before you, who have taken an oath to continue the selfless traditions of duty, honor, and country. Please join me in the DeBiase family. They're led by Patrick's oldest sister, Frances. They're most certainly here in what we call the military in force. And to put it in military lingo, the DeBiase platoon has fallen in and they're here. Thank you also to the fellow Niagara alumni, faculty and staff for coming to share this monumental morning with us. Thank you to Ms. Saltarelli for her lovely invocation this morning. I'd like to thank Mrs. Jennifer Coppola, the Associate Director of Alumni Relations, as well as the entire Office of Alumni Relations for helping us to support and all they've done for this event. Our lovely wreath, we also have a breakfast reception this morning, so thank you. As a member of the Niagara University Cadet Corps, Major Patrick A. DeBiase was appointed cadet captain of his senior ROTC class. Upon graduating from Niagara in 1942, Major DeBiase received his commission and entered the active duty Army Quartermaster Corps as a second lieutenant. His first duty station was Fort Warren. During World War II, Major DeBiase was involved in Operation Fortitude, a diversionary staging area near Dover, England, led by General George S. Patton, Jr., which was used to draw Hitler's attention away from the true invasion of Europe and the beaches of Normandy. Major Patrick A. DeBiase was awarded the Bronze Star for his achievements during the Battle of the Bulge as a supply officer on General Eisenhower's staff. Major DeBiase is a part of an honorable family of 5 brothers who all served in World War II. After the war, Major DeBiase became president of the Roxbury Carpet Manufacturing Company. Major DeBiase retired in 1982 after a very successful career in various executive positions. The late Major Patrick A. DeBiase passed.
This is just, he passed away a year ago this month on a day much like today. And I think he really would have loved being here on the banks of the Niagara, where he went to school, studied, played football, and really had some great stories about the ROTC. He really appreciated going here, and I think it was a big part of him becoming a man and a leader in this country. And if he was here, I think he would have told you guys some things, because that's what my dad did. He told you things. He was a very thoughtful, a very tough and thoughtful man. So here's what I think he would have told you. He would have told you how Niagara shaped his future, and he did love it here, both the town that he grew up in as well as the university. He would have told you how important the ROTC is today, and how many of the younger people in the audience should join the effort for the good of the country. I think he would have told you that how honored he is to be a part of this Hall of Fame, and quite frankly in the presence of all these military leaders who are also winning awards today. There are many things that our dad cherished, but I think he would have told you today his top two were family and country. There were others, but those are the only ones he really wanted to talk about. And he would have told you that his family members gathered here today, he would have said, thank you for coming. He really would have appreciated it. I'm not sure he would have told you that, because that was an emotional thing for him. I think he would have said how grateful he is to also have his sister Frances here, who we are very lucky to be able to celebrate her 100-year birthday in the same summer and fall as him receiving this award. So I'd like to thank Frances for coming. It's a very special treat. I think he would have told all of us that service to our country should be top of mind, and he would have really stopped at the reception later and encouraged all of us to ask a little less and give a little more. He was big on that. Two last things. Our dad's favorite cities were Washington, D.C. and Las Vegas. So I won't tell you the stories about Las Vegas, though they're good stories. They're family stories. We used to take him there every year on his birthday. But D.C. is a very different place for him. He loved to be there and in the presence of military might is the best that I could describe it. His favorite 3 trips to Washington, D.C., as told by him to me once, was when he had to elope before they ran off to war. So my mom and my dad went and eloped in D.C., and off he went after he left this great university. His second favorite trip there was when we took him to the opening of the World War II Memorial, which he was a big proponent of and helped Bob Dole lobby to get that memorial built. So he didn't want to miss it, and fortunately he was invited to attend a couple of private ceremonies. One was where they were honored in the Rotunda in the Capitol building in Washington. And we were stumbling around the Rotunda after the ceremony, and there was the statue of Ike. That's all it said at the bottom, Ike. At the time, General Eisenhower. So his most favorite picture that he has from that day was himself sitting in the wheelchair, actually he stood up at this point, next to a statue of Ike, which was about 30 feet tall. And there's my dad. So, but after serving with him in the war in London, he made sure he wanted to get that picture out to everybody. And then his last trip to D.C., probably his most favorite, was to take his brother Joe there for his final burial in Arlington National. And many of you were there. The family all gathered around. And for him, it was very important. It was the last of his 4 brothers that served in the war to die, and he made sure that he was buried there in a place of honor. And as we flew home that evening to Chicago, there was a big sense of pride and closure with him that his brother was now finally at peace and that he was in a place of honor. And I just want you guys to know that the family feels the same today, that we think our dad is in a place of peace and honor, and we want to thank the university for doing that for him, and thank all of you for coming.
Yeah, no. Are they placed there?
Ronnie, how you doing? You got one?
Taking it. He has some camera.
A little bit here. Black button.
Oh, really? I like that. Yeah, what is this one?
Push it up.